Hey guys, welcome to my first video. My name is Fabien de Faucheux. I'm a graphic designer. I live in France. I am French. I've been doing cardistry for about 10 years. When I started cardistry, I started collecting custom playing cards, and then I actually started studying art and graphic design. I am now a graphic designer. I'm working for a printing company. We're actually in my apartment right now. This is where I store all my playing cards. I have a really big collection. Let me show you some of the stuff I got. Today we are going to talk about some of the game changers, decks that have really changed our perception about playing cards, for its design, for the tuck case, printing process. Let's get into it. I think I'm going to separate this section into two parts. I'm going to talk about 5 decks today. In the future there will be a second video. We are going to start from 2008. I have my decks right now. And yeah, let's do this. So the first deck I want to talk about is the first deck of Smoke and Mirrors. These were released in 2008 by Dan and Dave Buck, which of course are some really famous magicians and some of the godfathers of cardistry. And this back then was the I mean, this deck was designed by a British illustrator called Cy Scott, and when I first saw the pictures, I couldn't believe my eyes because, you know, we were used to some really weird playing cards, not many customs playing cards back then. And fun fact, I've always loved watching artworks online, and Cy Scott back then was one of my favorite artists. And when I saw the back design and when I saw his name and the fact that Dan and Dave were going to do a collaboration with him, I couldn't believe my eyes. That was really a cool thing. And you know, back then there weren't many pictures posted. They liked to keep things secret. When I received the decks, the quality was amazing. There were a black and a white version, and of course throughout the years they have released a lot of different variations. I think in 2011 no wait 2012, is it 2012? They decided to stop making Smoke and Mirrors. They actually released a box set with 6 different decks, all paying tribute to all generations of Smoke and Mirrors that were released. That was really sad, but at the same time, all those decks were beautiful. Every other variation was better than the first one before it. And yeah, that was a really cool period. So the next deck I want to talk about is the Nox. If you're not familiar with them, and if you don't know what the back design is, there's not a lot to discuss about. It's just one color on the back design, just a rectangle. This is the first edition, so it has really thick borders. Current version have thin borders. I personally prefer thin borders, but back then when these were released, it was really cool. Like, nobody had seen something like it. This is one of the first playing cards that I think was designed with lifestyle in mind. You had the choice between 5 different colors back then, and you could match the deck you were using with the clothes you were wearing. So I think this is really fun. These are very vibrant cards, so when you use them, it's really colorful. I think it really embellishes the card flourishes you do with them. Really simple, out of the box thinking. I actually think that NOC stands for no design, only colors. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you know anything about this, please comment below. But I'm pretty sure that's what it stands for. So yeah, let's move on to the next deck. So the next deck is Monarchs from Theater 11. These were, as well as the Nox, released in 2013, I think. No, 2012. 2011. The same year as the Nox, I remember I was actually doing an internship in graphic design again. I've done a lot of work back then that was inspired by this deck of playing cards. And this was a really crazy release because all the standard were raised. The tuck case, as you can see, is really beautiful. The back design is really intricate, it has a lot of details. And this is the kind of stuff that we are used to see with Theory 11. I don't buy much of their decks anymore. I think they're all the same, I'm sorry. But the Monarchs were one of the first decks featuring their new logo back then. They really changed their whole image. Back in the days it was really dark, underground magic scene. But when they released this, their image changed for the best. I think nowadays they're really focused on simplicity. Even though their decks are really intricate, every product is some of the greatest quality on the market. The reason I don't buy any of them is I just prefer simple stuff. So nothing wrong about them, just I like simple graphic design. So the next two decks I want to talk about are these. These were released about the same period. I remember getting them at about the same time. So these are the Madison Rounders. I'm pretty sure you have seen those before. These again are really simple. It's just the Madison logo on the back. Really blocky color again. The quality is great. Custom faces on the code cards. These were, I think, really cheap when they were released, so you could really stock up on those and use them as your daily deck when you go performing or even doing, you know, cardistry. And later, many colors were released as well. I think we are actually expecting a gold version really soon. I'm looking forward to that because I really love this design. And this is funny because the box as well was really simple. It's flat, there's no embossing. It's actually cardstock, so that's really funny. The box is made out of the same paper that the playing cards are made of. This design was copied for a lot of other projects by other people. It's a really simple box. You have the logo on the front, back design on the back, and really you don't have anything much. You have seen a lot of decks that really use the same principles. I think this was a really big game changer. And the last deck I want to talk about, I will do another video on this deck in particular, but for now, this is the Fontaine playing cards. This deck was crowdfunded on Indiegogo back in 2011, I think. Again, at the same time around the Rounders. There's some crazy stories about it. Zach Mueller wanted a deck for him. He designed it in 5 minutes. I think it turned out to be one of the greatest deck, and it's actually one of my favorites. The red edition is crazy, handles like a dream. One of the funny stories about it is that there's, on all of the boxes, there's a smudge on the bottom, and this is because US Playing Card Company, I think, didn't wait long enough before the ink was dried. So they all have a little mark. Some of them even have big marks on the back of the box. The one I have right now has some pretty bad damages. And the funny thing is that back then I ordered 2 decks from Indiegogo. When Zach realized that most of the decks had these marks, he actually gave one for free to everybody. So when you talk about that, it's crazy because the cards are so expensive right now, and the fact that people got one extra for free, I think this is some of the greatest story ever. I don't know if you agree with me. So yeah, anyway, some of those decks are my favorites. The Smoke and Mirrors, the Fontaines, and the Nox. I really love those. And yeah, I think those were some really big game changers. This goes for 2013, and for the decks that are coming after that, I will do another video. So I hope you're looking forward to that. I will do another video with 5 other decks, and yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoy, guys. See you soon.